Wow, that caught me out by surprise. Welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League for 2014. We're in Season 1, Round of 16, Group B. Sean, has that panned out pretty much as we thought it would? I think it has, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the way Daishi put up a nice little cheeky first map and that little cheeky wink as well, he's got a bit of personality about him, which we like, but I think disappointing in the end to come out of that 2-1, do you not think? Or do you think Snoot was just too strong in those last two matches?
It's a combination of both, I think. I'm pretty sure Daishi's probably like, I wish I wasn't, feeling like this. I wish I could play my best. Because when he plays his best, he's actually one of the best Terran versus Zergs. He loves crushing Zergs. He really enjoys it. And it was sad not to be able to see that caliber from him. And when a player like Snoot is playing as well as he is right now, it's definitely going to be difficult.
All right, we're going to turn our attention very shortly to the winners' match, but let's take a look at the bracket just to confirm who the players are that have gone through. Jack G winning 2-0 against Grubby earlier on. Two very tricky builds for Grubby to deal with. Snoot then coming back from a map down to win 2-1 against Daishi. And now we have Jack G versus Snoot. It is the predictable upper bracket final, perhaps, but the interesting thing is that these two head-to-head, Snoot has never won in 4 matches. He's 2-8 against Jack G right now. What has he got to do to try and overturn that?
Do exactly what he just did against Daishi, in all honesty. Just play solid. If he can cut the corners necessary, make sure he knows exactly what Jack G's up to at all times. Terran versus Zerg is played out very similar. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. The only difference between Terran player to Terran player is how well they execute things, such as medivac harassment, clearing the creep out, how well their macro back at home is and stuff like that. Jack G is going to be playing a step up from what we saw from Daishi, but as long as Snoot plays what he just did, he's definitely capable of bringing him down too.
Do you, I mean, the creep spread that he had in that final map was pretty sick, wasn't it? I mean, as a Terran, I was terrified looking at it going, no, there's no way you can go. You have to take him on creep, you have to. Is Jack G going to be better at controlling? He's not going to let that loose, is he?
If he lets it loose, he's going to be in trouble. He has to stop that straight away. That kind of creep spread, it slows any push down, because as a Terran player, you don't want to fight on creep, otherwise you allow the Zerg player to engage properly. So drops to keep Snoot occupied, clearing creep all the time, going to be 2 important things for Jack G.
Okay, mindset, I don't know if you caught the interview with Snoot at the end there. Where do you see him? Because he's quite a calm fellow, isn't he?
It's interesting. He takes such a different mentality to the game, robotic style, which means he'll do the same thing game in, game out, and perfectly execute it. He'll play fast, he'll play clean, he won't make mistakes. That's basically what he said. And he displayed that in what we saw. And I'm sure that he's like, Daishi name number 1, but game number 2 and 3 were exactly that. And that's how he's going to go into this. I don't think he cares about Jack G. Snoot is capable of beating any Terran player right now. He will go into this as a robot again.
Okay, and Jack G, impressive first game against Grubby, but difficult because it's a completely different matchup now. Where do you feel he is right now in terms of form? I mean, his stats are through the roof. They're all over 70%, but stats mean nothing when you get to this kind of stage.
They don't mean anything right now when you're on stage. So whether he's losing all the time or winning all the time, forget that. Personally, I think Jack G's a little bit worried, especially considering what we just saw from Snoot, and especially knowing how Vortex played yesterday against the Terrans there, knowing that Snoot is very capable of exactly the same thing. A lot of Koreans put on a straight face. We're like, yeah, I'll beat this guy, but I think secretly he's a little bit worried.
Okay, thank you very much for your thoughts, and we'll hear from you at the end of the game as well. We are almost ready for our winners' game. Who's making it through to the quarterfinals to join MMA and Vortex? We're about to find out our 3rd member of the Round of 8 club with Kalaris and Todd.
Thanks very much, guys. All right, this will determine one player going through to the round of 8 to join Vortex and MMA from yesterday. So already we're really rounding it out with the Terrans and Zergs.
We are.
Although that being said, there can't be too many more.
Yeah, we're going to have groups where there's a lot of Protoses later on, but so far it's all been about the Terrans and Zergs, and maybe Terran. Imagine if Jack G wins here, that's 2 Terrans and 1 Zerg through already, and then I guess Snoots, to some extent, will be the favorite to make it as second. So we could have 2 Terrans and 2 Zergs coming out of these first 2 groups.
Yeah, we certainly could do. And then from there, we obviously have those two groups later on with the heavy Protoss, like you mentioned. So I think the round of 8 is going to be very, very well represented and very well balanced there. And look at that, Snute straight away once again against Terran, getting rid of Yonsu. Really no surprises. You just want to get it out of the way so Snute can play his game. And likewise, JackG also gets rid of Ultrazim Stronghold. So exactly the same vetoes for the first two that we saw in the previous series.
You know, going into this match, JackG, he should know that, well, everybody should know that, in my opinion, he's better than Daishi right now. But Daishi is very good. He has a very good TVZ. So even though he wasn't able to beat Snute, he really brought it to him. So who is the favorite, taking in account all this information? I mean, Snute was able to beat Daishi twice recently, 3-2-2 and 2-1. He barely won. Now he's up against JackG, who overall is better than Daishi, but in TVZ, is he really? I do think so, personally. But coming back to the Seed Story Cup, remember? JackG fell to Hyun. And so he lost to a Zerg. And Snute didn't fall to a Terran. He didn't fall to anybody in this tournament, actually, because he won it. So
Exactly.
how does that affect this match here? How is JackG's confidence lately? I would say JackG over time, ever since he came to Europe, which it doesn't happen to everybody. Ever since he came to Europe, he's been practicing so much and he's been improving very consistently and he's become so damn solid over time.
He has, and in terms of WCS right now, he's like 8-1 against Zergs in the system so far. That being said, you mentioned his position at the Seat Story Cup. Yes, he fell to Hyun, but then in the 3rd, 4th place match, he actually fell to TLO. So, you know, in terms of what we're seeing there, he hasn't really risen to the heights against Zergs as of late. There is a little bit of shakiness there.
And he just lost to Vortex in the Vasacast Invitational in the grand finals with... I mean, Vortex is on fire right now.
But then you have to think, do you put Snute up there with TLO and Vortex? I would say yes, I do. So
what's your deduction?
Oh, well, get ready for this, guys. Snute has a good chance. Snute has a very, very good chance here against JackG. Despite JackG being that fearsome Korean, moving to the European scene and abandoning everything in the WCS Korea region, at least, to come over here and try and perform here.
I thought you were going to say abandoning everything in Korea. He abandoned his life. Like, he went into a new life with a clear mindset. Like, he has no more relatives and stuff. It's all about StarCraft now, and he practices. Now, JackG is actually a super hard worker. Look at Daishi and his red pants. This guy is so cool.
I'm not sure why they're there. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
And Penguin, of course, coming here to accompany JackG, helping him along the way. I didn't even know that JackG could speak this good English. I was actually shocked when he started talking.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked
I think he's very shy. Like, he never talks, but he understands everything. He's just like lurking around, listening to conversations and all that.
Yeah, what if we've spoken about him and he understood everything we said? Uh-oh.
Well, what I was saying was that his nickname is Jackie, I'm pretty sure. He actually messaged me about it on BNet.
He's like, hey, I'm not Jackie.
Hero Marine is here as well. Pretty good Terran in the European scene.
Pretty good, yes, I will give him that. Pretty darn good.
Okay, so what's to expect here out of JackG and Snute? I think JackG, we already know, all of us, what to expect kind of. This typical kind of Terran versus Zerg, some Reaper, some Expand, some triple CC, some double eBay, a lot of bio. Snute, on the other hand, I wouldn't say his style is the usual Zerg versus Terran style, in my opinion, just because sometimes he tries to cut a little bit of corners a little bit. He over-drones, and I think this could be his weakness. Now, is JackG able to identify that? That second game, by the way, Snute versus Daishi, that amount of drones that he made, you know, after the Zergling attack that he made, where the Zerglings got into the main on heavy rain, and he didn't kill any SCV, he had 60 drones to 35 SCVs. Are you kidding me?
Very big
How
differences.
does that happen?
And even on the second map where we were on Frost, the big difference there was just massive in terms of that economy lead.
I think JackG's style counteracts pretty well Snute's in the sense that he's not passive. If you're passive against this guy here, he's going to get his 80 drones out, 90 drones.
Yeah, he is.
You're in trouble. But JackG is that guy who's always going to attack, always going to bring the pressure, who can always be active out on the map and macro very well at the same time. He's going to keep on expanding. Usually he's not shy about taking a third or fourth base, in particular a fourth base. Yesterday we did see actually MMA being a little bit shy about taking a fourth base in one of the games. I don't think that's ever happened to JackG. He's never been shy, at least in StarCraft. I don't even realize. Imagine if he has the same confidence in real life. He just walks up to girls on the tram. Yo, I'm Jackie.
How well would that go? Yo, I'm Jackie. I don't know, but. No, it's JackG here now. He sits at the forefront, really, of Koreans moving into the European scene and looking to dominate it. He's been on record many times to say that he is going to dominate this scene. And despite having risen to the heights of always being at the top level when it comes to these tournaments, always getting those, second places, third place, fourth place, anything up in the round of 8s and further. Where's that tournament victory? Where is it? Is he going to go through Snoot now and claim his place in the round of 8 and then try and stake his claim on WCS Europe?
But what about Snoot then? He was the last foreign player to win a tournament, a premier tournament, a long time ago.
A long time, yeah.
In 2012, I believe, with the Home Story Cup.
Yeah, December.
6. So now, is he going to be that guy who again brings us pride and makes us very, very proud to...
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
It could be Snoot. He's looking good right now against Terrans.
I think are supporting Snoot. Maybe even some Terrans, but Jack G is a big fan. He's become a big fan favorite as well.
Yeah, his movement over here to the European scene has been good for him. And now we're going to get into game number 1 to find out who is advancing onto the round of 8 in this best of 3. Either Jack G or Snoot will grace us with their presence very soon. Snoot's a happy chap. All right, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our Red Terran. Representing My Insanity, it is Jack G. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg. Oh, dear me. Hey, representing Team Liquid, it's Snoot.
I have to say, this tournament is gearing up to be of a pretty scary caliber in the round of 8. We have Vortex, MMA already through. Now Jack G or Snoot is going to make it. And apparently Jack G wants to be inspired of what we saw out of Daishi previously.
But this is like sick mind games if I'm thinking about it, because if we look at how game number 1 and 2 went for Snoot against Daishi, number 1, he didn't scout it out and it worked against Snoot. Game number 2, Snoot on this map was sending his Overlord to the middle of the map to try and spot something crazy like this, didn't spot it in the end. And now Jack G's kind of like playing on that idea, thinking, you're just going to send your Overlords in a normal direction. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, Jack G is really that guy, as I said before, who plays standard 99% of the time. 1% of the time he's going to throw in an all-in or something special. And I think we've hit that 1% here. He's judged that it will be good in this first game to try and go for that. And I think it might end up being good because we have a hatchery first from Snoot. He's going to throw down his pool at 16 behind his... when do you scout though? I guess after the first barracks finishes with that one SCV, but... How quickly is he going to see? Well, we just got the answer.
Yeah.
I guess he's going to see very quickly because he's pretty lucky.
And Snoot's really not anticipating this at all. I mean, if he was doing, then that spawning pool could have been a little bit earlier instead of getting 2 extra drones out whilst all this is going on. He sees the hatchery already.
Oh, he didn't reveal that he saw it.
Yeah, that's very, very clever. And there's no Overlord in that path or direction to actually spot anything going on. He's sending a drone down there and he will end up spotting this, but oh, this is a bad spot.
Yeah, that SCV is actually going to be tricky to kill. How many drones does he pull? He pulls a lot of them.
He has
Snoot
to.
has had enough, man. Last time this worked, he does not want it to work this time. He's going to pull a ton. He's actually left a single drone back at home to mine. He's got quite some minerals already. He's going to want to look to start a lot of Zerglings. Do you think he gets a Queen? I don't think so.
I think it's just to the Zerglings and Spine again here. He needs to start a Spine ASAP, though. That needs to start.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Starts it in the mineral line. He's not making the same mistake as he did in game number 1 against Daishi. He's not starting it at the front of the hatchery, leaving it much more vulnerable as those drones once again try and bring down
they get
as many
surround.
Marines. Oh, and what a great surround, pinning them up against the bunker. They do fight their way out of that pinned-in position, though, killing off the drone to get on out.
Wow, if he does not let any Marine get up there before the Spine finishes and he gets the cancel on the bunker, he's going to be in an okay position.
Oh, there's no SCVs there anymore to make that bunker.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Could be a good defense. He's lost. Well, he's still at 13 drones against 9. Microing against these Zerglings, doing well for himself, but there's just no SCV to finish this bunker. This is going to be a disaster for Jack G.
He starts 3 drones. Snoot knows that he's held this. He feels confident enough to start drones, and he's right. This has not worked at all. He's held very nicely. What a surround, man.
What a surround. What a good, strong position here now for Snoot at the beginning of the game. Yes, he does pick off a few more Lings, but that's it. He's not going to be getting past that Spine Crawler anytime soon. 2 of those Marines are so weak.
The new king of drones, man, he's back at it. Look at the production tab. 5 drones, 4 drones at a time. And Jack G is going to fall so far behind. Jack G can only make SCVs 1 by 1, because guess what? He's on only 1 command center.
Yeah.
So on the other hand, we have Snoot making a ton of drones, using all his lavas for them. And I like that he delayed his queen, by the way. He knew that he had to make a lot of drones first to make sure it's worth it and he gets more money. He has to be careful, though. The Marines are being produced continuously. If he gets attacked, you think he should get some links or he gets a second spine?
That's all right here.
Every time I ask a question, he answers instantly.
I mean, technically, I feel that this is probably the best option. Like, if you go for extra Lings, the Marines are gaining power so that they are in critical mass, right? So Lings become less and less effective since you don't have speed out right now because you didn't get the gas. And Jiaqi, for now, well, this is... he starts a third command center, so it's ultimate greed from here on out.
In the wall, too.
Yeah. He's got to do something. He's got to take drastic measures here to try and claw himself back in.
Remember what happened against Snute when you try to be greedy? He outgreeds you completely. Again, I have to mention that game versus Daishi. Well, those games versus Daishi were in which Snute made a ton of drones. Cute move with the queen here.
Yeah, he's the third spine is a little bit of an overcommittal now in the end because the pressure is just not coming.
I think he just wants to make sure he can drone. Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. You just have to make sure that you're well hunkered down against this because he doesn't really fully know what's going on behind this. For all he knows, Jiaqi could have added on 2 extra barracks and just gone swell of Marines and then tried to push
Oh, he cancelled it. He cancelled one of the spines.
Oh, okay, good.
Snute reading right into this here. He saw that those Marines had left and... what do you make of the double gas from Jiaqi behind this? Does he? I guess since he got 3 command centers, he wanted to make sure he gets some gas to get a techno. No, he starts.
He's going to go mech from here, I think.
What? No.
Well, with the barracks in the wall like this, and he's not really aggressively producing any more Marines. He's just making the reactors switch it over on the barracks in the main base.
From that, you can tell he's going to go mech.
Well, yeah. Oh wait, no, he's adding on the tech lab at the front for the barracks. Like, no, sometimes you do see like people going for mech after, you know.
Do you think because he's behind or because of like the map and position?
The positions are pretty good for mech to push across the middle eventually. He finds himself a Constellation Overlord surprise, which is always
next to the Christmas tree.
Exactly. It's Christmas. Yeah.
Snute is getting a Baneling Nest as well as 2 Evos, so the Baneling Nest is just going to be for safety, basically, to make sure he does not die to huge amounts of bio or any kind of attack. And yeah, the 3rd barracks is on the way.
Yeah, so
for Jiaqi.
A little bit overzealous with my call there, but whatever.
I want to keep an eye on the walker count because Snute, you know what? He's got his crown and he's going to make so many drones. He knows about the 3rd command center, right? Yeah, he knows about it.
Yeah,
so.
And he's already up at 57 drones against 34 SCVs.
How many do you think he goes up to? I say like more than 70 at least before he starts making a lot of units.
Yeah, something like 70, 73 up there as well. I mean, he technically, if he feels that he's under pressure, he could just stick around at like the 60, 65 mark and then power out upgrades and units from there, but I don't think he feels under pressure. After seeing that 3rd command center, he knows his opponent's playing an economical game from here.
40 SCVs to 62 drones now, and Jiaqi, as good of a job that he's done of staying in this game, of rebuilding his economy, of taking to medivacs, he has no e-base. So he throws down 2 now, but his upgrades are going to be quite far behind because this 1-1 from Snute is actually a 3rd completed, so
it's vastly stronger.
Yeah, and look, macro hatch in the main by Snute.
Yeah.
His macro is not gonna stop anytime soon, and I love the way he's playing.
And we saw that presented in the previous series, right? It just every single time he was trading armies away, we saw a flurry of 80 Zerglings, 60 Zerglings, 50 Zerglings. That's a lot of lava invested into that you got to keep up with, and Snute was hitting it nicely.
And Jiaqi starts his 1-1 a little bit late here after he's actually 110 seconds behind on that 1-1. That's a long time.
And that's actually a good thing that Mr. Funker, our observer, points out. There's only currently 1 creep tumor active, so Snoot's domination of the maps that we've been seeing isn't as strong as it would have been earlier on.
And it really helped against Daishi on heavy rain, but I don't think he's going to be all that important here yet because he's just ahead on everything else. I guess it would have been good, but he skipped on queens. You notice? Even when his 3rd finished, he didn't have a queen there.
4 queens across these bases. These Hellions trying to poke forwards, and he's going to clean up the small amount of creep that's already here. But this is kind of scary. If he was able to split effectively against those Banelings without centrifugal hooks, and centrifugal hooks has actually not started during all of this.
Oh, the creep 2 more. He's going to get killed. If those Hellions shot at the spine, he actually would have killed it. They almost killed it like that. And the creep spread has been completely shut down. Snoot's going to resume that. And the lack of vision here, the drop is going to hit the main. Snute is going to have to come back very quickly. He doesn't have Baneling speed.
This is a lot of pressure. This is a lot of pressure. Centrifugal Hooks now starts up. He does push this drop away, but there is still the opportunity for him to try and push through the middle. But
Jiaqi has got up on supply.
I think he's kind of scared that centrifugal hooks would have been quicker, and he doesn't want to be in the middle of the map and only be able to evacuate out with these 2 medevacs. But
JackG is so freaking solid. This is ridiculous. After the start that he had, nice target.
Oh, nice. Gets 5 of them, 6 even. A lot of them go down just for free. Brilliant focus fire.
This guy is a monster. And I know that if it was a pole casting, he'd use the word God, but JackG is seriously playing out of his mind right now. He's so solid with making SCVs, with macroing. He's doing everything right. And some more nice targets on the banelings here. He's ahead on supply. He was ahead on supply here for a second. Mutas are going to start now. JackG is very good in those long games. On 3 bases, I think he might be maybe the best Terran in the world. Once JackG has 3 bases, I really feel like there's no beating him anymore. He never takes a bad fight.
Yeah.
Again, as we said, he's lost to Zerx before. He's lost to Vortex most recently. But I really like the way he's played this year after the deficit he started within his game.
And every single baneling that gets focused down by JackG has knock-on effects from a player like Snute, who plays that very layer-heavy style like we alluded to in the previous series. So now this army is looking menacing.
Yeah.
Not so much the upgrades, but...
The Widow Mines.
Yeah, the Widow Mines, they're also quite menacing. Okay, so he doesn't want to stray on to creep too much. 2-2 is about to finish up here for Snute, though. That could be a saving grace in this engagement, as it is so close to actually finishing. And he's going to have to go in and deny this from actually cleaning up the creep, but that was a good split by JackG.
Yeah, great split here. Much different than what we saw from Daishi. This game, not to take a jab at him, but he was having a hard time splitting here. JackG, I guess being on the edge of the creep, he really helped as well. He was able to pull a little bit out of there for a second. But Drilling Claws are on the way here. And JackG, man, do you know who he reminds me of? Yoda. Yoda, that guy has never had more than 300 minerals in his life, except when he wanted to make a CC.
Yeah. Dude, that's so true. He's a macro monster. I can't remember seeing like...
The 2-2 was forgot about for a long time, by the way, by JackG. We have 2-2s up for Snute and 1-1 only for JackG. This could be a big deal.
This is a good time, but at the same time, he does stray off creep here and catches quite a lot of that with the Widow Mines. That's a good trade for JackG in the end. Everything that Snute's trying to push on forwards with it's hard. It really is.
He's going to go around with another squad of his army here. Actually, enough to fill 2 medivacs. JackG, that is at the bottom hand side of the map. He's getting chased down. I think Snute just wants to make sure this other base of his doesn't get sniped or take any damage.
And all of this stems from a 2-rack, we got to remember. JackG was like, well, I'm going to do damage with this, and if I don't, I go back home and play as greedy as physically possible, because I know that's going to be your game plan.
2-racks is a macro build, man. Why do you think Red Eye does it every single game?
Oh, don't tell him that. Okay, so I didn't realize that he had actually Burrow finished. And those are in a really annoying spot.
Yeah. Some big hit here. Could be used with those banelings, burrows. Every time I see those bird baneling, I think of Scarlet. What about you?
Yeah, against Bomber, that certainly does spring to mind. And he's got to be careful. He's got to be really careful. Okay, those banelings didn't actually trigger. Oh, one of those Widow Mines on the left-hand side did catch quite a few of those banelings, but at the same time, Snute's still rolling on forwards here. Catching quite a few of those medevacs on the retreat out could be a fantastic trade for him, and he gets up all of the ground army.
Yeah, great engagements. Finally, those upgrades from Snute paying off in that one big fight here. He's going to have to demine the field. Shouldn't have enough to press forward, but he's done his job for now. He's well set up on 4 bases. Should be going for a 5th, not too late. And look, he's maxed out now. He's remaxed very quickly. So does he go for a counter-attack here, knowing that JackG does not have as much, but then he will be in a good defensive position? Or does he take to Hive and try and get as many banelings as he can before the next engagement? In which case, he will have to wait for JackG to go across the map. The creep spread, again, has been denied very well, except on that base.
Yeah, that's helping Snute out quite a bit.
There's a board link here as well now.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
The double annoyance, that's really irritating.
Double annoyance?
Dude, that is so annoying. He's gonna go like, yeah, I can land. Oh, I have to go over there and drop a scan. That's really irritating. This is a really strong army from Snute once again, and he's found room to get a infestation pit up. Oh. All right, he's looking to press. That's the thing. This is almost even triple annoyance now. If he continues to pressure at that 4th base, like, what do? You can't like take an engagement there against this, because Snute's army's looking good.
Taking the annoyance to the next level. And is that a single annoyance?
That hit a few of those Marines in the end, and now, That didn't go so well for Jakji there. 34 Mutalisks with a complementing...
Oh, the Banelings!
Don't go too far. You want those Lings and Mutalisks with them. And he saw them actually burrow just then. That's a big, big trigger. He has to drop a lot of scans for this. Meanwhile, there's a big drop, or a little bit of a drop, down in the main base. But the Mutalisk just swings straight on back.
That Mutacloud, man.
You can't drop with that Mutacloud there.
32 Mutas ready to defend. Snute is doing this so well. The vision he has on the map is actually quite scary. He has burrowed landmines. He has his own mines with the Banelings a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, splitting these a little bit forwards. Those Widow Mines doing a little bit of a burrow dance for themselves to make sure that they can keep this army sturdy. But it's max against max now.
Yeah, Snute needs to take to Hive here quickly because he finally starts it. Because 3-3 has started for Jakji. And Snute, by the way, he needs to keep on injecting well because he's going to lose some of his army for sure. He's going to need to replace that very quickly. This is one way Jakji can win with great drops here. He didn't want to take a big engagement.
Catching the spawning pool really takes the wind out of Snute's sails here. If he's able to do damage with this engagement, how do you remax out if you don't have a spawning pool? As well as a Spire that goes down with those upgrades. Yes, he will clean this up, but now this could be Jakji's time. If he continues trading on 4, what do you actually produce here as Snute?
Yeah, he can make drones.
Yes, he could, but that's about it. There's really not any other options. He still has the Baneling Nest. He can try and morph in as many as he possibly can do, but he's only got 12 Lings to his name. He needs to defend this base. He needs to keep it alive. The Mutalisks will enter the fray, but they don't save it. This trade for Jakji. Wow.
Jakji says, you won't make drones? I'll help you with that. And he kills the pool, the Spire, and look at how much money Snute has. He should be doing a lot better than he is right now in this game. If he had made some static defense in his main, made sure that this could not be dropped, because going every single time to middle of the map with his Mutas, they have to fly back, and he lost key facilities. But obviously he's still doing okay in this game. Still in good shape. He has a lot of money. He's going to start the Ultralis Cavern. The creep spread is not going strong, but he's doing okay reaching the middle of the map now. And Snute, he's even taking a lot of extra bases now. But Jakji is going to be on 4 bases, and I'm pretty sure that means a 5th should start not too far behind. So he's already getting the extra command centers.
It's like at least Snute now bridged the gap of that big window that was there for Jakji, where the production was just not kicking in. We saw he was stuck around 156 supply against the 180, 170 of Jakji there.
Oh, the Thor was stuck in the main. He picked it up and dropped it outside. That was so cute.
At least he keeps them all mobile. That's nice to see. But Snute here, with this Ultralisk Cavern about to finish up as well, he's found room for his 3-3. But still, Jakji now has another window in that 3-3. And he's everywhere. He's dropping up to the top left-hand corner. He's trying to push away the creep in the middle of the map. And Snute, and there's another drop as well. Okay. The Marines didn't walk over it as well as they would like.
You know, as good as Jakji's macro is, I have to say his Medivac play, his drop play overall, this is MMA. This is MMA version 2.0, man. This is pretty insane. He's everywhere. Look at this. He drops this base, he drops the main at the same time, and he moved with his army at the same time towards the top left-hand side. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Looking to pile on the pressure. If he could get that Ultralisk Cavern, he's going to go for it. There's only one Ultralisk in production right now. Picking that up would be nice. There goes the Transfuses. Will he be able to save him time? No, he will not. The Kaiser's plating also gets forced to cancel. Up at the top, there are a lot of Widow Mines trying to connect with these Banelings, and they do clean up quite a bit of them. And some great Widow Mine connections from the back there.
Are you kidding me? Is Jakji doing this right now? He sniped that base at the bottom. He picked up the units. He's going to drop in the main again. The Mutas, they cannot be everywhere.
Jakji's playing brilliantly. Those Banelings really don't get at the detonations that they want. They caught a few Marauders as well as Widow Mines. Widow Mines isn't too bad, but Marauders is not what you want to hit. There's so many medivacs that he actually has there. He doesn't want to... He's up to 16. I don't think he needs to make any more. Just the bio, just anything.
This is actually 32 army supply worth of medivacs. And he has 111 army supply, so I'll let you do the math quickly. That's about 70.
I mean, at
actually
least
real army supply other than the medivacs. And he's getting 2 more medivacs. Look at the production tab. He's not... I don't think he's realizing that. I mean, as good as he's doing right now, I don't think he needs more medivacs. Well, maybe repair the current ones first.
He's going to keep on adding some. There's another Burrowed Ling here over on this right-hand side.
Oh, Snute is anticipating the 5th. He's going to get a kill.
Oh, yeah, you can't save that. There's no way. Bye-bye, little guy. And there's actually another CC up to the top right that if he had...
He's trying to fly away. Run!
It's the slowest escape of all time. And 35 Mutalisks still out on the field here.
More medivac drop on the top left-hand side. Could get a cancel on that one base over here, but actually there's Banelings. Some nice target maybe. Man, Jakji is always looking. This is ridiculous. Like every time you're looking somewhere as observer, he's actually looking there. He has ice everywhere.
What a great game from both of these players so far. And Jaxxi's just really bringing on the pressure constantly here. The Ultralisks from the back, they're not really complemented by any Zerglings or anything, so they're taking a lot of damage from those Thors. One of them's just about to fall, but at the same time, good Baneling connections with that majority of that army.
Oh, and a borrowed Zergling is denying that 5th base from JackG. Snoot really, I have to say, in the details, he's doing really good.
Yeah,
even against Daishi, there were so many of the small details that he did very well. By the way, is this area safe? The Lynx cannot get in.
Oh, he needs to bring out that Queen so that it can actually filter on through there. And that Widowmine kills off quite a few of them, but the Mutalisk flock, once again, the murderer of Mutalisks, able to bring down the rest of that.
And that Ling is still denying the base. Thor is going to be caught in the middle of the map. I thought this only happened to my Colossi.
Oh, that bad rally point, man. But no, I mean, look at this. Snoot has actually taken a supply advantage pretty well here, and it has a lot of gas.
Finally going to be killed. If QXC was here, he would say the thing he always says in this situation. Command centers should be allowed to crush Lings when they land.
It's broken, man. Broken. They should be able to crush armies. You just fly a lot of them into position and just land them. That's an actual legit strat. That would be the coolest thing ever. Uh-oh. That's a legit strat. Banelings, 37!
Well, what do you say in this situation, the 3 words?
There are so many Banelings?
Indeed.
Uh-oh. All right. It's so funny that he's only getting +1 carapace now for his flyers when he has so many of them, but he had +3 weapons anyway, and
36
that's what he really
Marines,
cares about.
44 Banelings. Easy math here.
That's a lot of Banelings. The Lynx try and go on through here. Well, to tank as much as they can do so the Banelings can get in position. But the Mutalisks as well as the Banelings just absolutely ransack this position. Snoot kills off another command center. He's got eyes up to the top right with Overlord spreading creep on these bases. Snoot is absolutely flying.
Yeah, and behind this, he needs to make sure he keeps on injecting well, by the way, because he doesn't have that many lava. You see, he's always remaking armies and units. I guess he has a lot of hatchery, so that's really going to help with that too.
I can't believe he's shut down these drops as well as still applied the pressure. Look, I mean, JackG is basically mined down. He has a slither of income at this base and the one down to the bottom left, but that's about it. He needs more bases, otherwise Snoot is going to starve him.
And Snoot's... Did he anticipate that drop? I guess he saw it coming too with the quick spread and the overlords there, but JackG at this point, securing a 5th, is going to be almost as hard as winning that big fight that Daishi took when he was maxed out on Heavy Rain against Snoot. It's going to be very, very hard. Snoot, man, he has his half of the map. He's happy with it.
What a game so far. Snoot now maxed out. JackG scrambling to find any kind of self-sustaining max out at all. He's been stuck at this 150 supply for quite a while. His drops keep getting shut down. He can't now push through the middle of the map to make these drops even more effective doing that double-pronged harassment because he just doesn't have the capabilities to. So Snoot is slowly just gaining himself such good leads in this game.
It's funny because Snoot usually, he has so many drones that his army is pretty small, but now he's lost a ton of drones and he chose not to replace them. So his army supply is actually ridiculously high right now. And look at the production type, 12 Crypt Tumors. He knows that there is not much to macro at this point. He's just injecting well enough to have enough lavas to remax. He's maxed out, so he doesn't need to make any more units. He has all the upgrades that he needs. He's got every important upgrades that he needs for his composition, so the priority is going to be creep spreading. And look at the production tab again, 8 Crypt Tumors. He's going to make sure he has the vision, and he's going to try and deny that 5th base.
And he's going to flood in again here, maybe for the last hurrah, as JackG's trying to hold on. He needs this base. He absolutely needs to claim this location. There's not that many Banelings actually here with the fight, and he does try and bring some in. He lost a few Mutalisks during all of that. That was a good engagement in the end, because there was just no Banelings.
Because of all the drones that Snoot has lost, I guess they are not spread out across all of his bases very well, and he's facing mules, remember? So JackG has kept up on the supply. He's maxed out himself, and behind his Snoot has no bank actually, and he spent all of his gas very quickly now. He actually remade a few mutas, which I'm a little bit surprised about. This is weird. I think at this point, focusing on Infestors and Ultras would have been maybe a little bit... So he's trying to remake some drones, but can JackG still do this? I cannot believe.
If he'd have only just waited for some Banelings in there with that army, I think that may have gone a bit better there for Snoot, but right now... JackG's even things up. Snoot basically gifted him a good portion of his army there as he was holding on, and he now claims that base, which is so important for JackG. That could be the big turning point in this game.
JackG's gonna try to get a snipe here on that hatchery. Not gonna happen. Get some kills on some drones in that other base, but yeah, shouldn't matter too much. 52 drones to 49 SCVs right now. So man, their armies are actually freaking huge. Jakji's not even maxed out. I'm a little bit surprised he's moving to the middle of the map right now. He wants to set up a good fight here with some nice Widowmine placement.
Look at this pre-spread. How are you going to be able to engage into this, Snute? We'll find out as a lot of those Banelings connect with Marauders at the front. Really not doing the exact job that they want to, but Snute with overwhelming numbers, with Lings reinforcing, still tries to push on forwards where he can. A lot of these Marauders trying to bring down the Ultralists, but they're complementing these Mutalisks in the sky so well, and Snute will push this back once again. His Lava is on form. He's got 40 Zerglings to reinforce this very, very quickly. GG Snute, after a fantastic game number 1, is able to secure the victory. Wow.
That was pretty funny here at the end. There was a lot of changelings right next to the barracks of Jakji. I'm sure he was trying to select them, thinking, I need Marines, but he couldn't. And then he steamed his actual Marines, and they were stuck from the changelings. But yeah, very, very solid performance from Snute, and even from both players. Jakji, after a failed 2 racks, 34 minutes game.
Yeah, still looked good.
What the hell?
There was this crazy moment, unfortunately, for Jakji, where it was around like the 25, 27, 28 minute mark, where he was damned if he didn't, he was damned if he didn't. He had to try and drop to gain some kind of sense of normality, unless, of course, Snute was going to push in and try and gift him a bit of an army, which eventually he did do, but obviously, with all those drops, he wanted to do damage, but he also needed to save the army. He needed to save units so that he could eventually greet the army. So Snute, just throughout that, played great. That was a really, really fun game to watch from both sides.
Yeah, Snute is a guy that I've casted quite a few of his TVZ, and if you let this guy drone, you're gonna lose every single time. It never happens otherwise. I don't think I've ever seen a Terran let Snute be in peace for too long and go up to 80 drones and then win. It just doesn't happen. I remember I commented a tournament in UK actually, in which Sting played against Snute in the finals.
ESET.
Yes, and Snute won that quite convincingly. He droned up very well, and then from there, he's just unstoppable. So going up against somebody like Jakji here, who tried something that supposedly was going to be good against Snute, does he go into the next game playing a little bit more standard, but then puts on more aggression, thinking that he cannot let him drone? It's going to be tough, because any kind of attack will be a commitment before Medivacs. And well, once you reach Medivacs, this guy, he has his 80 drones and he's happy.
Here's the thing, though, as we now get into game number 2. Actually, let's get into it before we ramble on a little bit further here. As Heavy Rain is our map between Jakji and Snute. Snute is 1 game up against Jakji here, looking to advance on in first place in Group B of the round of 16. As we have spawning up to the northern position our Red Terran. Representing my insanity, it is Jakji. And down to the southern position as our Blue Zerg. Representing Team Liquid, 1 game away from advancing on, it is Snute.
You know, a lot of people say that TVZ is the best matchup in StarCraft, in their opinion. I have to say, after seeing that game, it's hard to disagree.
It's fun to watch.
So much action, great fights, and good times and good fun.
Good, very, very good times. And I want to come back to the point that I wanted to make before, which was, we saw from there how well Jakji can play out a game after going for a 2 racks, right?
Yeah.
Now, imagine he just now goes for a normal game, a normal build, and just stabilizes into the mid-game without having too much disadvantage to him. Obviously, you get opening Reapers here on a map such as Heavy Rain with the 3 Reaper harass. And then from there...
StarTale Life actually tweeted a minute ago, Snute, goes Zerg versus Terran.
Oh, wow.
If the man himself says that, you can be happy and you can be proud. You can be that's a fact.
Yeah, that's from a man like StarTale Life. That's
compliment
impressive.
Snute.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, coming back to what I was saying, like we could see Jakji here just try and play out a normal game, and then in the mid game, imagine what the power behind Jakji would be if he goes in a very normal position compared to being at a disadvantage.
I have to say that surround on the Marines was not to be expected out of somebody like Jakji. You know, he went into a corner, he was trying to reach the bunker a little bit too early. If he had stepped a little bit better, been a little bit more patient. Remember how Daishi did it, the 2 racks. He brought the SCVs, he waited until they were there to really fight, and even then he was still stepping. So a little bit disappointing of the 2 racks by Jakji in that first game. But in this game, he's going for, I guess, what you could call the most standard build. Mr. Bitter called it years ago. He said this is the best build ever made in StarCraft 2. and the Reaper expands. Whereas Snoot played it much safer with the spawning pull first. Do you think he was afraid of a 2 racks hidden somewhere in the middle of this map?
I think, I mean, there is always the potential of that, but after game number 1, I think he's more anticipating this Reaper opening because of you know how me and Sean kind of explained it during the previous series, which having that Queen out earlier on against the Reapers, which because this is such a common Reaper map, it's very nice to be able to push this away.
And JackG, from what I'm told, also sometimes proxies Reapers.
There is always the potential of that here from JackG, but nice for JackG there to be able to see that gas so quickly. And now from here, the third Reaper will come along with the extra. Actually, that's just the second Reaper, but the third one's in production. And Queen's already being added on up to 3 here for Snoot. So I would love to see him play a bigger, heavier Queen style and try and get that creep spread going as well as he did against Daisy, because we saw time and time again in that game how strong a position that gave Snoot in the later stages.
Do you think if JackG went for something like 2 additional barracks, he could surprise somebody like Snoot and possibly win? By the way, the overload placements, how is Snoot going to be able to scout without having it denied very quickly here? His overload placement is going to have like one of the top right-hand side. These Reapers shouldn't be able to do too much, but they've actually done quite a ton of damage on that one Queen.
Yeah, it's good damage done.
Transfuse is almost up on the other one, so he might just transfuse that instantly to make sure it doesn't die a little bit later on.
And there's actually an Overlord that just spotted the third command center.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, actually, I didn't see that one.
He gets all the information he needs here at this point.
I was wondering, JackG. Oh, he actually hides a second factory behind his middle line of his expansion. It's gonna be the Hellions, and Daishi mentioned this to me too. He said in the, I think it was the second game, he was actually thinking about doing something like that because he knew that Snoot likes to drone so much.
Yeah, he likes to drone, and not only that, but he gets a little bit of a later layer compared. Oh, catches one of the Reapers, that's nice.
Get slapped.
Poor little guy. But you're right, like, he likes to play a little bit later than most Zergs, which is always going to make Hellions extremely strong here. It's going to be up to the Queens, it's going to be up to a wall.
So you think he gets a tech lab on that second?
I would assume so, for like the Blue Flame. Oh, I got a Creep Tumor there as well. All right, well, for now, we do have that tech lab on the way, so you can get that Blue Flame out, and this is going to be a big amount of Hellions.
I think with the 3 Reapers out, it would have been pretty hard to get that third base up, but because one of them died, now it's going to be hard for JackG to make this work. Oh, he goes into there. He needs to get out. I guess on heavy rain, it's pretty easy to do so.
But again, Snoot has to be very diligent about what he's greeting here, because if he transfers over to that third base a little bit a normal time, he's going to be hit really hard.
Yes. He needs to start Blue Flame soon, though. Okay, there it is. On this map, if you look at the 2 potential third bases that Snoot can take, don't you think they are super vulnerable to this kind of play with Hellions? They're like, it's super open, both areas.
They can be, yeah. But in the end, JackG's going to be looking for the throw. He knows now, with this pressure being exerted, that Snoot's probably not going to transfer over to that third. It's all about trying to get into the natural, past those Queens, past that wall, once that Blue Flame and all of these Hellions are going to be out and about.
But Snoot is going for a counter-attack with a run by. The wall is not closed here by JackG. He has 2 Hellions back at home. He's getting 2 more now, but this could be spotted by Snoot, in which case...
The extra Hellions are being hidden at the back, but then he sees 4 extra Hellions. Like, why are you banking these up? So that could be a big tell. He doesn't see the ones at the back, though, I don't think.
JackG was going to reveal them, and he pulled back right on time.
Well, he's getting the Roach Warren now, so he's smelling something
he realizes. He knows what's up. He starts a lot of spines. He starts 2 in funky positions where Hellions will have to go through. Killing the rocks is so smart. This is going to buy him so much time. JackG has to go all the way around the left-hand side or the right-hand side, because killing those rocks will take forever with
But not only that, he's actually going to move through the middle, get to those rocks and be like,
my God.
well, you actually broke those?
I guess he goes to the left then.
Yeah, he could actually.
Oh no, he's going around.
I wonder
He wants to surprise. I think he knows that there is no overload on this side. This is extremely fortunate. Or maybe he's anticipating those rocks being broken down by his opponent.
I think he's just trying to be sneaky, man. I think he's just trying to be sneaky from here. That's a lot of Hellions. There is the Overlord, though, that's just about to spot them, and it sees all of this moving into position. How well is he going to be able to react? Right now, he doesn't have any roaches out at all. He's going to try and go for straight to the throat.
7 roaches on the way.
Oh, a lot of those Lings get completely killed off, and these Blue Flame Hellions are in danger zone here now for Snoot. All those drones, you make a lot of them, but it's no use if you've got no defense for them against Blue Flame Hellions. Now going to work on absolutely absolutely every single drone. He's already killed off 20 drones during this, not only equalizing up the drone to SCV count, but he's looking for more damage, but it's blocked off by the Queens. Very, very good positioning there by Snoot. Despite this, he could use the high ground on the third. Oh, any kill here is brilliant for him. They're all so
my God. He killed 35 drones just now. We saw
Wow.
it was 35 drones. JackG was homesick. He wanted some Korean barbecue, and he made it himself. Behind this, though, Snoot is still on 46 drones. He was a second ago. He just remade a bunch. I think Snoot has enough money to just remake huge batch of drones and climb back up in that worker counts. And he's having saved these queens is a big deal too, because he can keep on injecting. He needs to get one of his queens on his third base, though. Not injecting that for a little bit of time is going to be a huge mistake here.
I think you're right. I mean, despite losing that amount of drones, of course it's a big blow. It's really, really annoying. But what does JackG have to follow up that kind of attack? Why Snoot in his mind's now like, you've lost all your Hellions, that was all the units you had to kill off a lot of my drones, but I was already at a pretty high drone count anyway, so I think Snoot, despite being at a setback, is certainly not down and out at all.
Yeah, he's getting the roach speed behind this, starting the 2-2 with melee attacks, Baneling Nest and Spire, so I guess Snoot likes to have all these options covered. Basically getting every single building he can. And the creep spread again. You said this before, and I like that word that you used, by the way. He's covering every single avenue of the map to make sure he can see anything headed his way, and he can defend well on creep with those banelings being so much faster.
And I've got to say it again, it's so hard for Terrans to deny on every single path.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. You want to run from left to right everywhere to try and deny all of this? Good luck to you, because as you are doing...
and they need scans too. They don't have observers.
Yeah.
That might be the only time ever in their life that they would like to have a Protoss unit.
Dude, get a Raven, man. It's time for a Raven to come. I would love that to death, but probably not going to be the case
just for
here
like denying creep, and then he loses the fight horribly because he went for a Raven. Thanks, Kylaris.
Hey, I like Ravens, man. I know it's really difficult and inefficient to actually fit it into this build, but it would certainly help in cleaning up. But then you've got to obviously account for the fact that Mutalisks are always going to be on the hunt for that poor little guy, and it's
JackG's supply is quite scary, but the thing is, Snoot with that creep spread, I just don't see him getting into a bad engagement. He could actually siege down there with the tanks, take out that spine, but I guess it would be moved. He's just going to take that out and try and get a good fight from there. Ideally, JackG would want Snoot to engage into him, into that small choke over here, and the tanks will do so much damage. It's funny that he has tanks too.
Yeah.
We don't see tanks too often anymore. I think he saw the roaches. He's like, you know what? You're probably going to go roaches plus lings and banelings, so I'm going for tanks here would be smart.
And this is quite a bit of pressure that we're seeing being exerted through the middle of the map here for JackG. Centrifugal Hux is not done just yet. He absolutely needs that, but every single time a Baneling moves forward, it's getting slammed into the ground by these siege tanks from the behind. So this is very, very difficult here. He's going to actually try and float on forwards, but this is a good entrenched position here for JackG. He could get a very, very efficient trade against all of this, and all the lings have been cleaned up whilst the Mutalisks, they have no room to do anything. This is a great engagement for JackG.
Yeah, the scan says it's go time here. JackG saw the entire army of Snoot. All the Mutalisks are dying. I think he's done it. His supply lead was good enough.
What a great follow-up attack from JackG, always knowing that his opponent had to try and drone up from there on out, and despite Snoot trying to claw his way back from those Blue Flame Hellion assaults, it just was not enough. JackG knows what to do. GG 1-1 here in this best of 3. JackG playing a very, very good game.
If you want to be the king of drones, you need to have a Korean barbecue. Apparently it's the only way, because as I said, if you let this guy drone up, if you don't take out a huge chunk of his economy, you're not going to be able to do well against him. And by the way, this Hellion attack, he went into the main. There was 0 drones killed at the time. He killed 20 drones, and then he was on 20 for quite some time. Then he was stuck in the main. I don't know where it is exactly that he killed the extra drones, but I think it might have been at the third from the high ground. I'm not sure, or maybe he sent Hellions in the natural, because I didn't really see. But all of a sudden, he went from 20 drones killed to 35. And that's, I mean, at this point in the game, killing 35 drones, this is more than half of your opponent's economy. So behind this, Snoot had to drone up. He couldn't make units, otherwise he would have been all in, and I don't think it would have worked, because JackG even sensed that could be possible, and he made some bunkers on his natural, 2 of them in total. So I really like the choice here by JackG to go for the follow-up timing with 2 tanks and just getting a great engagement, sending the Steam Marines out there. You know, this is actually one of the most frustrating engagement to take, because if you don't engage, he just keeps getting in there. He keeps on sniping your stuff with the Marines and Medivacs, and every time you engage, he pulls back next to the tank and next to his big chunk of army. And you can never get a favorable engagement in that situation.
Yeah, I think even if he had centrifugal hooks there, it would have still been difficult for him to actually even kill that off. I mean, every single Baneling that was moving forwards, they were being focused down by tanks. And if they'd have tried to go in a big chunk, that they would get bottled up in that small choke there, they would have still been brought down. So
I think Snoot lost patience a little bit because he had 2-2 about to complete. He might... I'm not sure if he waited for that to complete, but if he had waited for, say, 1 or 2 more wave of units after some injects, he would have done a lot better. So maybe, I don't know, I don't think evacuating this base was an option. But maybe he engaged just a little bit too early, and he didn't come from behind either. You know, he sent everything to that one choke.
All right, game number 3 now between these two combatants to find out who is advancing on to the round of 8. Habitation Station will be the map of choice to round out this series between Jakji and Snoot, our Korean against our Norwegian. Let's get into it. Spawning up to the top left-hand corner are Red Terran. Representing Mind Sanity, it is Jakji. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg. Representing Team Liquid, it's Snoot.
If Snoot is the drone king, then who's red? The drone queen?
I'm not sure he would appreciate that.
I know he's watching, that's why I say that.
Yeah.
He actually tweeted that he thinks Snoot is the drone king now.
Fair play. He's claiming that title pretty quickly. That was some fast and furious droning we see in these games.
Some fast and furious driving from the Zerlians too.
Yeah.
They went right for the main. I have to say, I do think that Snoot could have handled that a lot better with well-placed queen. A wall on his natural, and then evacuation of the third, but he just didn't see it coming. That's the way that Jakji went around the right-hand side. I have to wonder. If Jakji wins here, I really hope that Red Eye asks, because that was amazing. How he kind of anticipated those rocks being down.
Well, again, though, it could have just been the surprise factor. If you come through the middle, it's like somewhere that Snoot's always kind of paying attention to.
Yeah. I always go through the middle, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, Protoss units are slow.
Yeah,
but it's okay, we got force fields.
Oh, yeah, you can actually force field off all of those. Like, yeah,
I don't care about the rocks. I'll make my own rocks with some force fields, man.
Sick. Dustin Browder for the win. He likes his rocks. He likes his force fields as well. And, well, for now, we'll see what's going to happen here. Jakji with this gas opener, just going for the Reapers again. A little bit harder to really do a whole lot with the Reapers on a map like this compared to Heavy Rain. But it's still a good opener because it gives you good map presence. And on a map like this that is this big, that's certainly important.
You think we're going to see a gold base out of either of those players?
Dude, if I'd have seen, like, I know that this isn't happening here, but if I'd have seen Jakji lift off that command center and go to a gold base, for whatever reason at the start of this, I think I would have put my headset down and walked away from the table, my friend, because I do not like that build.
Really?
But, yeah,
why?
Well, it's just spazzy. It's really, really strange.
I mean, Marine King is really good with that build.
What, one game?
Oh. Wow, you're such a hater.
Oh, I know. I'm a bad person. I am. But anyway, we could see it later on. We could, because Jakji, if he's able to deny the creep spread through the middle of the map and then lay claim to that watchtower, then it's a great staging point to not only defend but also attack. So that's certainly a good argument for going for a gold on this map. But anyway,
Snoot definitely not going to be opening with any kind of quick gold. TLO style, and then some roaches, and just overrunning his opponents. I think it was TLO against Bomber in Sao Paulo, where when we saw something like that, there's quite a few cool builds we can do with the gold on this map, but I think most players know them. And look at that third command center of placement of Jakji.
He lost Reaper. He lost the Reaper. Okay, that's really not good here for Jakji.
He lost a single one, though. He still has the other one. But look at the command center placement. Is this going to be spotted? Snoot is looking everywhere. Oh my god, this is actually even annoying me. He's like moving his overlord above. Like,
it was on patrol in the middle. Just like, I guess he was trying to spot stuff, yeah, but not really as effectively.
If he does not spot this and this flies to the gold, I think Jakji is going to be in a good position. You just land some mules there.
There we go. At least also, I mean, this Overlord in
gonna say-
general against a Reaper opening is really good to spot out if there's going to be a second gas taken at any kind of weird time so that he would know to eventually accommodate for something that was a bit more aggressive. But from here on out, Snoot's just playing his own droney game.
Getting 2 Overlords at the time now. Gonna be supply blocked for a second. He's getting another gas at the 6th minute here. What do you think that means?
I can't quite remember if we've seen him been doing this before.
Yeah,
but
and he's still mining fully from that one other gas.
it could
think
just be
he's-
for extra defensive capabilities.
What defenses?
If he wants to get a Baneling Nest a little bit quicker. Or even
Okay.
if he wants to get a
Wait,
Roach
he
Warren
saw
to
the
deal
third
with
command
something
center.
crazy.
I think there is a good chance we're gonna see an attack here. Banelings, maybe even Roaches. Double Evos go down, so maybe he just wants quick upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, he has been starting those very quickly.
What's
so
the
maybe
build time of an Evo, James? Quick.
The build time of an Evo, 35 seconds?
Yes, oh my god, you're so good. And he's gonna have enough gas by then to start 1-1 immediately.
I mean, I play quite a bit of Zerg, man.
I've always said it, you're a Zerg, even though you try to pretend
No,
you play random.
right. Oh, you. I knew there was going to be a snipe there somewhere. Okay, so yeah, all this gas just committed to that 1-1 a little bit faster, obviously, than what we've seen from JackG as of usual. That has been lining up normally in the past couple of games as well. He's very reactive about that.
The one Reaper was sniped here, and JackG added 2 extra barracks. Not, I don't think I've seen JackG go too much for very quick double eBay. Like the ultimate grid build for me is 3 command center and then the double eBay before even getting a tech lab on a barracks or adding additional barracks at least. But in this case, JackG has been playing it safer than that.
The ghost of Snoot showed up for a second there, as he's now just getting his lair on the way. And 10 drones, all the drones in the
11.
world. Jeez, 12 drones. And there is that gold base, because it is so easy to, with these Hellions at least, try and secure that middle for now. But he does need to push this creep away. He does need to get those active ones, and indeed he does. So nicely done so far by JackG.
That gold base, man. Snoot is going to know about it pretty quickly, I think, because he saw where the CC was built, and he has an overlord around that other position where there could be a third base, so does he look worried, or was that his normal face, you think?
I'm not sure. That was an interesting face. I think he's playing out of his mind right now. That's what it is. He's taking a base down to the southern position. Yeah. He has to play out of his mind to play against JackG, who was able to tie up the series quite nicely.
Snoot, sorry, he's like a Zerg version of Major. Every time you play greedy against him, he outgrids you. Like, he never cheeses you. Yeah, seriously, that's Major.
Oh, hey, this little push out with these Marines is quite powerful.
Yeah.
Denying this creep spread, killing these queens, blocking them for a second there.
Banelings are being morphed nearby, and they're not ready yet.
No, if he actually kills off all of these Zerglings and gets on top of these Banelings, kills those off, the Centrifugal Hooks is not done. He can actually micro against these pretty aggressively. And just, there's not really a whole lot those Banelings can do for now.
JackG actually, wow, I thought this was going to die for sure, but not having
This is a strong retreat out, though.
Yeah.
He has to get out of there because he doesn't have the medevac support to deal
he
with
could
the
get attacked.
reinforcements.
He has the first 2 medivacs out, but that's not enough to save all of those units. If Snoot makes only units, which he is right now, and attacks that gold base, he could do quite some damage. If he kills all of the SCVs that are there, it will be a huge win here, because he's on 73 drones against 59 SCVs.
This gets spotted by the Overlords.
Oh, he's going to have to defend in the
there we
main,
go. Yeah, he does react to that accordingly. And just a few Banelings in that middle are trying to defend that, but at least pushing this away is a good start here for Snoot. And these Banelings, not the most cost-effective, but poor little fellas. They really want better detonations, but they're not getting them just yet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that Snoot is getting pneumatized carapace. He's going to be able to place a lot of Overlords around the map, which he already kind of did. That drop in the main going to be defended quite well. Oh, nice target again on the Banelings here by JackG. And you know that JackG is doing what I talked about earlier. He really does not want Snoot to get into his comfort zone. He does not want to be passive and allow Snoot to get his perfect drone count. Because right now, Snoot does not have his perfect drone count. He has 71 in total. And he would like to be higher than that. Probably around 80 something. That's usually where he starts on making a ton of units, getting perfect injects all the time. He's denied the creep spread well too. I have to say JackG has done tremendous amounts of work already in this game.
And that's exactly what you've got to do if you want to secure this gold base. And he's adding on 3 barracks behind that. He's gone up to the total of 8 now. His production is going to be really hitting home
hard.
hard.
That drop at the bottom. Going to be spotted very late.
Yeah, he could kill that base, or at least do damage and push it away.
72 drones no more drones on the way. Snoot is only making units. If more drones are killed here, the king of drones is actually going to feel hurt.
And here we go for the double pronged harass once again, trying to bait out a little bit up to the top whilst down to the bottom right. He did set himself up for the defense in the end, and will deal with that accordingly. That was actually good reaction times there by Snoot to eventually push that away.
Yeah, another drop in the main. The one queen gonna try to buy some time. Actually, two queens. Oh, they're shooting down the medivac in the main. Why is Jackie not dropping?
Well, okay, so they end up now focusing the Marines there for a second. They will kill the medevac.
Yeah, but then there's no healing, and those Marines, they didn't even steal in the end. So that's transfuse gonna be used. Pretty cool haul here by Snoot.
Yeah, so far so good here for Snoot, really holding on. He's a little bit supply blocked here, trying to get out of that with the 3 overlords that are on the way. His creep spread down to the southern point of the map is okay.
Yeah, he actually spotted those 2 medivacs because of this earlier, and which kind of saved him. I feel like if he hadn't seen that coming, and he lost a few drones on that one base, he would have been in trouble. But again, Snoot is still not droning. I guess he's decently happy with the 72 he has now, as much as he would like to go higher. Yeah, there we go, 18 total is going to be our number in a second here. Yep. He's getting Burrow, probably for the Banelings again, and having it. Snoot, he gets his upgrades earlier than his opponents every single time as far as 2-2 goes, which is pretty cool.
Now if he can just find room for that quicker hive and continually pump out that 3-3 compared to a Terran, that would be absolutely sick. But trying to snipe out Widow Mines here, all not clumped up together so they don't get any destinations.
Succeeding.
That was good control there by Snoot.
Ooh, double medivac at the top here. He's going to be spotted very, very early by an overlord. Snoot's really on top of everything.
It gets spotted by 1 overlord, and then it gets spotted by 5 as it tries to fly through. But
it's like turn around.
Yeah, it's like, this is not the way, this is not the path. But Jaxxi's hitting at so many angles, this could actually work.
He's dropping at the bottom, dropping in the main, attacking at the front with everything. Snoot has to split very, very well. There's nothing at the bottom defending right now.
Oh, those Banelings really don't want to move in through that. It was very, very hard to actually engage into
drones.
that.
The king is losing drones.
Oh, he finds a lot of Banelings morphing in as well. Tries to micro it back against them. And it actually, quite fantastic split some defense there from Jaxxi to actually deal with that. But has to get on out because he's just being cleaned up on. Snoot, I've got to say, for that triple-pronged harass, that was an all right hold there for Snoot.
But he lost 9 drones. This is what Jackie wanted. He wanted to keep Snoot at around 70 drones, not 80. Behind this, we have the Infestation Pit starting. I think Snoot, being maxed out here, you have to go for the 3 upgrades. You have to go for the Ultras. I'm a little bit surprised that Jackie has delayed his force base so much. This is something that we saw earlier out of MMA when he was playing against Vortex, and with which he wasn't successful at all. It didn't work. Remember that game on Yonsu? So now, Jackie is in a similar position where he has no force base. This is looking pretty good for Snoot here, I think.
Soaking up a lot of those Widow Mines. There's one still active at the back here, and will it connect with any of those Banelings? He actually only connects with Zerglings through that, so Snoot still has a good opportunity to clean a lot of this up. All the button bio gets pushed back, and that swarm of Mutalisks once again. Yeah. Such a scary prospect for Jaxxi to ever engage.
44 Zerglings, 1 Queen, and 2 drones. This is the equation. The addition that Snooty wants to make to his composition and to this game. And with the Hive starting, I really like his position at this point. And look, he's even spreading in his main a little bit to make sure he has vision of this entire surface area. Snoot has played this so well. The 3 Widow Mines! Oh my god.
Ooh. Okay, that could be a lot of damage. I think the Overseer's got a glimpse of them as they were going out, and he's going to try and target them all down before they connect. They do end up catching some of those Mutalisks on the left flank, but aside from that, he gets out. He's almost maxed out here.
He's getting more mutas to increase his cloud. I think he realizes that if Jackie moves across the map and attacks, Snoot is going to win the fight every single time with the links and banings that he has in support for his mutas. So then he can counter with the huge muta cloud.
Interception.
What's up, Emilevac?
Oh dear. Dude, if Snoot went right now, I think he would just crush through Jaxxi, but he's playing this a bit more safe. He's playing it a bit more sturdy. The Mutalisks up to the top right do find another medevac flying across those Marines.
Those Marines have +3 attacks, so they are not to be underestimated.
Drops, you're getting nothing done. You're getting nothing done here, my friends. Snoot now is in the driving seat.
No force base. Jacxi mined out. Well, he actually landed murals in his main because he didn't have that many SCVs there during the entire game. So his natural is mined out. The gold is almost mined out.
These Banelings could be the killing blow. He's got 17 morphing in. He's already got something like 23 on the map.
How many is that?
Going up to a total of 40 Banelings here, Todd, is certainly a scary prospect once again here for Jaxxi, who is now trying to set himself up for the defense. Those Widow Mines, all important here. Really not a whole lot to tank against those Banelings. He has to kill them straight out Otherwise, he is going to get ran over. No.
He's going to bait one more time. Or maybe not.
Jeez.
I like how Snoot really scared this army of JackG and then pulled back once he realized there was the Widow Mines, and he forced his team. So as much as there is many vacs, they actually don't have that much energy. If they keep on fighting a lot and somehow this mass army Marine survives a little bit longer, there's not going to be that much energy to heal all of them continuously. JackG still doesn't have a force base. Guess what's on the force base? Marines run there. He knows that this Zergling is here before he even sees or tries to land. And no QXC, that Command Center is not going to crush that Zergling.
No, it's not. It's going to be up to those Marines to clean up, and transferring as much as he can over there at this point. Wait, how many Banelings do we have? We have 28. 28 Banelings against this. He's actually going to, doesn't want to be trading any of these Mutalisks. Every single one goes down so fast against that +3 weapons. It's as if Snoot is just waiting for his +3/3 to finish as well.
Well, that's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It's actually this is 2 minutes away from finishing. And JackG, he has his own 3/3 already, so if he had a timing during which he could make something happen, it's now. But he does not want to step on creep. He's had a few bad experiences before with that, and he's trying to secure his own 4th with a PF. Gonna be able to, but the thing is, this happened. Oh, the Widow Mines!
That was a lot of damage. If only it had been 3 Banelings there, man, that would have killed off the entirety of that.
They just shot again at some Zerglings. The Widow Mines are trying to run away. This is a big deal. This is a very important part of the army of the Terran.
He still has 11 Widow Mines with his entire army during all of that, but that was a big blow to him as those Banelings going to come crashing through. He realizes that he probably doesn't have as many Widow Mines with him as he would like. He's actually going to push it back into those 2 Banelings. Is he going to get through? He gets so many Marines with that as well. Snoot now, maxed out, is looking for some kind of killing blow. He's a little bit apprehensive, but he's just going to go straight through for this. A lot of those Banelings died on some of those Widow Mines, but now this opens up access to that 4th base. There's really not that many Marines there. He could combat that, but he's still playing as defensively as he can do. Snoot does not want to throw this game away with 50 more Zerglings on the way.
Actually, there was 80 a second ago. This is a familiar number. And more Baneling bombs set up here. He's gonna try to bait maybe JackG to go into this, and the creep spread, man, is rich. Funnily enough, the entire bottom side of the map. And 3/3 is gonna complete. Kaidinus plating is on the way now. Snoot is getting more mutas. I guess he's happy with that composition for now. He could go for a huge remax of Zerglings plus Ultras if he wants.
And because of the lack of bases that JackG's on, every scan is very, very valuable to him. Because he wants to be able to throw down mules. He wants that macro. He wants to be able to get more Marines out. He's at 150 supply. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to be maxed out. And now Snoot...
JackG is mining from one base, basically. That 4th base. He has 46 SCVs out of 24 there. So he needs to take another base on the bottom left-hand side. Maybe fly one of his original CCs there.
Definitely. Snoot has control of this game, though, man. He has control of this game. Once 3/3 and Kindness Plating finishes up, he is going to just... Look at the bank he has. 4,000 minerals with that gas as well. If he just gives up a few of these units, he could have so many Ultras out.
203 supply. He did a spore trick. He made 3 spores. He made some more units.
Bye-bye, Marines. JackG cannot be taking these trades. He absolutely cannot be. There's a lot of Zerglings around here. They're actually just going to try and flood forwards to kill off some of these Marines. Any unit he can get is great.
They're all on cooldown.
Any unit he can get is great because all he has to do is alleviate supply for those Ultralists to come out as well. And Snoot, he doesn't care if he loses Zerglings. Not at all.
3 Ultras on the way, really going to help tanking with this. And considering JackG is only on Marines right now in Widow Mines, this is going to be great. There is not a single Marauder out. And even when there was Marauders, remember what happened to Daishi? Not go well for him.
Oh, he jumps in as he sees those Umbra, and another connection there with the Banelings. He now starts to move forward to his entire army, knowing he is in a position of power. Catches the rest of these Widow Mines. There's only 2 left. There's only 2 Widow Mines, and these Marines basically against this huge force. Once those Ultralists come along, there is a drop in the main, but I don't... Well, Ultralisk doing a little dance for us.
Who's kind of stuck? Oh, the Queen! 3 hit points. There's one on the expansion. It's not doing anything.
All right, but still, Snoot has the momentum. He has all the power behind him.
55 SCVs out of 24 on that force base. Would you say it's a little bit oversaturated with the mills that could land there too?
Probably not in the best of shapes here as JackG. +3 weapons starts as well for Snoot. He's just solidifying this lead, solidifying this victory in essence as JackG's trying to find a way to scramble through the middle of this map. But if Snoot wants to, he can come in from both sides and kill off a lot of this force. He needs to pick up, he needs to get out of there. There's no way he can save, but at the same time, the Mutalisks would just tear it out of the sky. GG, and Snoot is able to take the series 2-1, advancing on in first place here in Group B. What a series from him.
What a series indeed. Snoot very impressive display of skill from start to finish here. Overlords everywhere, and I said it. Jack G needs to keep on being aggressive. He needs to make sure he keeps the drone count as low as possible, and he did just that. And even then, Snoot's defense was good enough to be able to win the series here. So I'm actually very, very impressed by him. Now, yesterday we had Vortex play extremely well, but today Snoot says, you know what? I heard a few people using the word best and foreigner yesterday when talking about Vortex. I'm out there too, and I'm the last foreigner to have won a Premier tournament. So I'm still out there, and I'm very, very strong myself.
Here's the thing, Todd, is that after watching these two groups, Group A and Group B, unfold in the round of 16, we're seeing that our European, Korean Terrans that are participating in here don't quite have that power punch behind them. Is it up to the Korean Protosses now to take it? Because otherwise, I mean, I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but people like Snoot and people like Vortex, they are right up there contending for these spots for #1 in this tournament, unless the Korean Protosses can defeat them.
Yeah, but first of all, they would have to make it out of their groups, which are going to be played later. So
that's true.
Yeah, that's a question mark again, which I guess we will have answered later in the round of 8. But Snoot here, with the way he's played and the way I know he's been playing overall, even against Protoss on ladder and all that, very, very impressive. Definitely one of the guys that can pretend to be the best foreigner right now, and that's always a good title to have, because usually the best foreigner is that one guy that everybody looks to because he can actually beat Koreans.
Yeah.
And now we have more than one here. Later on, also, we're going to have Welmu, who's beat a few Koreans himself.
Yeah, he did. That Bounty Hunters team, man, they got bopped. But anyway, for now, guys, let's head over to hear from the winner of Group B, Mr. Liquid Snoot.
Congratulations. Fantastic victory in the end. Half fought, 3 map, very long maps as well. The crowd have enjoyed that one as well. What is it with the European Zergs right now? We're showing that Europe's got some fantastic Zergs. Vortex yesterday, yourself today, you've both topped groups.
Yeah, it's nice. I think Vortex has been one of the top foreigners for a long time, but we don't get to see him as much because he doesn't play all too many online televised matches, I guess. Yeah. But I've always thought of him as one of the best, if not the best Zerg in Europe on the ladder. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about your match against Jack G. This man had won 70 of his last 91 games against Terrans. It's just extraordinary. He seems to be against Zerg. He's just seemingly able to bring out victories after victories. We saw what he did earlier as well against Grubby. Very straightforward against Protoss as well. What was your mindset going into a game like this? I mean, I know that there was a lot of pressure on you, but was it pure focus, robotic-like, as you said in the first game, or was there some nerves this time?
I made some mistakes. I was maybe a little bit nervous. To me, I always get a little bit nervous at least. So in the second game, I should have walled off with Evolution Chambers, for example. So I made a few mistakes also, but I just wanted to play the way I do in practice at home. It's been a mistake. Sometimes I go to tournament and try crazy things I haven't practiced before. So I just wanted to go with this because Zerg is very favored once they get a lot of Mutalisks out. So I just wanted to play the what I think is the strongest style and most imba style if you want to just get to as many mutas as possible. And it might be a bit boring to watch because Zerg is only defending for 30 minutes and only then attacking, but I think it's one of the best ways to play CVT.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you showed us in your first match that was how you preferred to play Muta Bane. First map pretty much went the way you wanted it to. What went wrong for you in the second map? You said you didn't wall off, but was there anything else in there where you just sort of analysed it afterwards and thought, okay, game 3, I'm going to do this slightly different, or I'm going to do the same thing?
No, I think it was fairly simple. I scouted the Blue Flame Hellions with my small timing attack. I saw he had more Hellions, but my response was just not very well practiced.
Okay, game 3. Again, another long game. All 3 very tiring games. I saw you come off. You were. It wasn't just relief at winning. There was a genuine sense of, I know you haven't been very well, so it was great to finish the game. But very long, tiring games. What was game 3 like for you?
Very exhausting, but I knew once I saw he was going for mass Widow Mines and I was able to kill him off, I knew that he wouldn't have a big army value, so my army would always be stronger. So yeah, I'm just happy I don't have to play more games. Like we didn't, people don't know, I didn't want to tell anything, but after Seed Story Cup I got very sick, not very sick. But I got a cold, and I also recently became an uncle. So I haven't really practiced a lot these last 4 days. So I was very concerned going into this, since I spent a lot of the weekend just being exhausted and also helping my family. So.
Well, congratulations, Uncle Snoot. He is through to the round of 8 and he joins Vortex and MMA from yesterday in Group A. We're going to find out who joins him a little bit later on in the programme. We do have our 4th game coming up very shortly, but for now, we're going to hand it over to our analysis desk just to break down how this European Zerg dominated Group B.
Thank you very much, Red Eye, and welcome to my screen of knowledge, where we're going to be looking at that Just Gaming. I'd like to just highlight a quick quote from Snoot there, is that Zerg vs. Terran is ultra defensive for the majority of the game. So if we actually jump in right now, and before we play it, this, for me, was pretty much the start of the downfall, I'd like to imagine, from Jack G. At this point, it's kind of equal. I'd maybe favour Snoot a little bit, just in terms of his upgrades are a little bit faster. If you watch the game closely from the get-go, we saw barracks added on before the engineering bays, which meant he could do that little timing before, where you saw the bailing's not quite ready, where he did a little bit of damage and actually looked in a bit of trouble. But after Snoot held on for that, that means the upgrades for Terran are a little bit slower than they should be due to the later added on engineering bays. But from this point on, I'd say not too different between the two of them, maybe a small advantage for Snoot. But the big point is, as mentioned, the downfall of Jack G and how it happened. So how did it happen is the question I'm going to look now. So if we play from this point, at the north, overlords everywhere. There was no Viking in this game to clear out the north part, which means overlords can sit happy and spot and give information to Snoot whenever drops are on their way. Creep spread's pretty good, and he sees this drop immediately. When you see this, if you can stop these drops while being able to control on the front against attacks, you're going to find yourself in a pretty good spot. So as we see from here on out, if this is successful, if drones can be killed or anything, then Jack G's going to be good. But already, the difference in supply is starting to take a drastic difference. 20 supply between the both of them. I'm pretty sure both these medivacs get picked off. And then also, he was defending on the other side. So if we pause it now, all of a sudden, there's a 30 supply difference between them. 2 medivacs full of units didn't do anything, and a push at the front cleared a little bit of creep, but likewise did nothing. And from this point, if we continue to fast forward, we have 2-2 near completion. There's another drop in the main base, and I thought, whoa, maybe this is the one that does a little bit of damage. Nope, that's shut down as well, unfortunately. So with that cleaned up, still no damage dealt. I mean, you tickle in a queen, which gets transfused, doesn't really matter. And then from now, this point, the supply difference, 30 supply. If we fast forward it, where's the next attack coming from Jack G? Because he's played an ultra aggressive game. No 4th command center means he has to do something again. So if we pause it again here, I think we have a drop down south, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. This, on the radar of Snoot, he saw it before, already knows it's happening. And there's another one, I think, maybe at the north, that's about to take off too, which spots immediately. So he's already on top of these kind of things. So if we play from here on out, we'll see once again, no damage dealt. The perfect defense from what it seems to be a perfect Zerg versus Terran player. Down the south here, evacuation of drones. Don't lose drones is the key there. And also being able to deal with it, which again, he targets down. Inside the main base, instantly there again. And then in the middle, deal with the ground army. It seems so easy for Snoot being in 3 places at one time. He's just been able to defend all over the place. And once this is cleaned up, which it's about to be, at the north is cleaned up, in the middle is cleaned up, and down south is cleaned up, the supply difference worsens again. So it's 20 supply, Snoot's carrying it hard, he's got his 2-2, and then if we just fast forward, it continues on and on and on like this. Jack G is, for me in this regard, a gambler now. Because without a 4th command center, he needs damage done. So he puts more money in the middle of the table. More money, more money, more money, until eventually he's broke. And then you can see 50 supply difference between them. And then from this point, it was downhill for the rest of the game, like a slow, big slope for Jack G, unfortunately. A superb defense from Jack G means he's in 1st place in Group B. So thank you for spending a bit of time with me here on my screen of knowledge. I love this thing, and I hope you guys do as well. Red Eye, take it away.
Screen of knowledge, indeed. Thank you very much, Apollo. Great analysis as ever. And we've still got 2 more games to go, so don't go too far away. Our next match is a deciding match. The loser goes out of the World Championship Series Season 1 here in the Europe Premier League. The winner has another shot but he still needs to win 2 games in a row, and Jack G is waiting for him in the lower bracket final. Next up, it's Daishi versus Grubby.